On this episode, we talk about pivoting from your sport, but still being a part of it. Welcome to another episode of Inside the League. I have with me a very special guest today, Dakota Griffin. Dakota, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about your experience as an athlete and what you're up to now.
So I started playing softball for Caroline County Little League back in, I think it was 2015, so I think about 9 years ago. And then I started playing field hockey around 2020. My softball coach was also the field hockey coach, and she was like, "You need something to do on your off season, come play field hockey." So I was like, "All right." So I decided to do that, and then I moved here to Henrico County, and I became the captain of the field hockey and softball team during my junior or senior year. And so, but my senior year is I tore my ACL and my meniscus playing softball, and I also partially tore my hip flexor playing field hockey.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot at the time. I couldn't really play like the sports that I have always been playing and that I love. But it was also the time that I was expanding like different hobbies. So Henrico County Public Schools offer what is called an ACE Center, which is an Advanced Career Education Center.
Okay.
And I specifically took the course Radio Broadcasting and Journalism. And that expanded my skills to audio production and all types of skills in that area.
Okay.
And so I started venturing into audio production and later into video production.
Okay.
And so when I was playing softball, they had what's called Sports Wire, and they would show like highlights of like games and everything.
Right.
And occasionally I would like see myself. And it wasn't until Will Catterley, who is like the host for the show, he came to like the senior picnic that my school was having, and like we did a little kind of like I know you.
Right.
And so I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, what's up? Like my name is Dakota. Like I'm an athlete. Like I watch the show. I'm also into radio broadcasting and journalism. I would really love for any opportunities that you have. Here's my information. Please reach out." And ultimately he did. So that was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, "Well, here's my email. Shoot me an email," which I did. And now I work part-time there for Henrico County Public Schools for Sports Wire. And yeah, it's just been really awesome there.
So first of all, I want to say kudos to you for like taking the initiative, like seizing the opportunity, not just resting on, hey, I'm an athlete and it's going to come to me, but like at an event, going up to somebody and really putting your name in the hat, so to speak, to get the next opportunity, and taking the kind of loss that you found on the field from your injury and saying, okay, hey, I'm going to pivot quickly to the next thing. Right before you pivoted to the next thing, how did you know kind of what next opportunity to look into? Did you have an inkling about what you liked, or was it something that stood out? Were you still kind of wrestling with, do I try to play or do I do another sport? How did you make that turn?
Yeah, so I honestly just kept getting hurt that year, and I was like, I'm definitely gonna have to take a new angle here. And at the time, like I said, I was exploring, different hobbies. I gotten into like writing a lot and audio. So I took the time to, I guess, expand on sports broadcasting. And I'm like, I love the sport. I have the passion, but like if I can't play it on the level that I want to play, and like I can't be like fully immersed into like the sport as I want to be, then like maybe I have to watch from the sidelines, and I'm completely okay with that. I have to see from a different perspective, and that just so happens to be through a camera lens and not on the field.
No, that's really amazing to have the wherewithal to say, hey, I'm going to change my perspective. I'm not going to give up the sport that I love, but I'm going to change my perspective about how I interact with the sport that I love and still have it be for my benefit. So,
Yeah.
your time so far in sports broadcasting, what have you learned that's been a little unexpected, or something that you didn't know before you got into the field?
Yeah, so it's not the same as playing the sport. You know, when you watch a game, you kind of know what to expect, but all those different elements on how to film a game are completely different. Like,
Okay.
I had to focus in and zoom on people that, like, I thought we were focusing on this play over here, but like you got to keep like zoning in, and there's just like a whole different elements about videoing and how to speak like about play by plays and stuff like that that I never really thought about as an athlete. Like I just did it. I never really thought about explaining it.
Right. Um,
But
as far as your learning what to do kind of on the sideline of the field where you're getting different players, what's something that was a little easier for you to get a hold of, and then what's something that was a little more challenging for you to like grasp and really dig into?
so I think the technological part was kind of like the harder part because I had never held a video camera before. So I think that aspect of having to navigate through that was a little bit challenging. What was good is that I pretty much knew the sports, so I knew how to like what angles to get. Like I knew what plays were probably going to be more important than other plays,
Hmm.
and I knew like what I could say. Like, oh, this is what happened during this play. This girl had like a double play for a second, she's out, something like that. It was
Right.
easy for me.
So using your past experience really came natural, and being able to apply it to your current experience. What's a piece of advice that you would give to a player kind of coming behind you who might be interested in broadcasting, that might help make their trek a little bit easier?
I say just have that growth mentality, be open to taking on more responsibility. We say like in a lot of sports, practice like you play, like put that into everything that you do, and you have to take advantage of those opportunities no matter what. So I mean, you just gotta go for it.
Yeah.
Send it.
I really like that. Practice how you play. I really like that because it is preparation a lot of times in all areas, before you get on
Mhm.
the field. And so, what are your future goals? Where do you want to take broadcasting, as you progress in your career?
So I really want to stick to the area of broadcasting and journalism, specifically relating to sports. So I'm just expanding. I'm just exploring that area currently. I'm kind of going with the flow and seeing where it takes me. Um, and hopefully, with this job with Henrico County Public Schools, it might expand into something more. But if not, like if other opportunities, come to me, then I will gladly take them.
Cool. So, where can people find you? People who may have an opportunity in broadcasting that would be right up your alley. Where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on all kind of platforms, social media platforms. Instagram, it's Coda with two S's and two A's. I'm on Facebook, everything. So they can reach out to me just by typing my name, and that's Dakota Griffin.
Thanks so much, Dakota, for coming on and sharing your story, sharing your tips and your perspective about pivoting from the sport but still being in the sport that you love. I really appreciate it. And I wish you well and so much success on your future ventures in broadcasting.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.